Welcome back. Today I'm making garlic sauce, and that's not a brutal sauce, it's a very delicate sauce. And the reason it's delicate is because it's boiled in milk and it produces a much more sweet, mellow, gentle flavour, distinctly garlicky, but without any fire. And it's such an easy sauce, it'll store in the fridge. I'm using some couple of leftovers, and these are purple, the violet ones that I like. Basically, I'm just dividing them up into pieces. I don't want that stalk, for instance. If you can, leave them intact, and you don't peel them before, you peel them afterwards, which makes them quite easy, really. But there's two more that were left. You can make as much or as little as you like. It goes well with roasted vegetables, barbecued foods. You can put it on risottos. You can add it to anything because it's a very easy sauce to eat. You can eat it cold, you can eat it hot, and it goes very, very well with fish. And we're coming up, well, we are over here now. I mean, we should be, but we've had very bad weather like everyone else. But this is the south of France, so we'll be coming up to the earliest parts of eating our barbecues and things like that, outside eating. And it just adds another dimension to what otherwise gets very boring. And it's an interesting sauce, provided you can locate some garlic. This is the end of the season of the garlic over here. In May, the new season starts. And I probably wouldn't make it with the new stuff because the new stuff is so wonderful. But this is old garlic, and it's something you can do with it. And depending on how much you're using, you basically cover it with milk and you just cook it for about 20 minutes. You'll know when it's done because it's like a vegetable. You're aiming to produce a soft bulb. We then take them out of the milk. We will be using some of the milk that we've cooked them in, but not a lot. And then we turn them as the basis of a puree into a sauce. You can see this is old garlic and it's no longer fresh and will be a bit harsh. So this is the ideal thing to do with it. And you won't be forever peeling it. I can hear one, but I can't. There it is. There you are. They just slip out of their skins really easily once they're cooked. So it's more like using it as a vegetable. Okay, right, I've got it here now, and you can see I'm using quite a bit of garlic, just checking what's left. No. Right, I'm checking what's left, and I'm going to cover this with milk. I'm going to bring it to a healthy boil. Going to put a lid on it and leave it to cook. And I want it to be a gentle simmer. I don't want to burn my milk, and I don't want it to bubble all over, but it's not going to do anything apart from cook and soften. Okay, so I'll bring it up to the boil and then use a lid. It'll come up quicker with the lid on. This was a recipe from the very south of Spain, but they have a lot of garlic. So in some ways, they would have recipes like this. And they eat a lot of fish down there. So it's something that goes well with chicken, with fish, with quite a lot of light meats. It'll go with cold meats, and it's wonderful with vegetables. Okay. I'm just going to give it a little stir. Now you can see it's starting to froth, so we're very close. I'm going to stay with it while it comes up to the bubble, because obviously the heat's got to get to the middle, and if I turn it down too quickly, it won't be doing that, because the inside of these things will chill down the milk, which looks like it's bubbling. So I'm going to turn it down quite slowly and just keep it bubbling. This is another one of those recipes which is a cross-cultural recipe. That part of Spain has a lot of North African influence. And you find this particular one, this sauce, is also made in North Africa. I've assumed that it's a Spanish one, but I don't actually know where it originated. And like most things, it's difficult to know where anything originates when people move about. They take their culture with them, which is lovely, really. So I think we've got a nice steady boil, but when I put the lid on, the temperature will rise quicker. So now I turn it down again. I'll give it a couple of seconds and I'll check again. And then it's going to take about 20 minutes, which sounds an enormous amount of time, but you want it soft enough to puree. And they used to use a mortar and pestle to puree, you know, something like this. So it would have to be very soft. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use a bzz, because it's a lot easier. If you haven't got a blendery type thing, you can just push it through a sieve. But you really want them silky smooth. So that's why now it's starting to smell a bit. Right, and you can see it's going too fast. So I'm going to turn it right down, check it again, and I may have to move it to a smaller light. But this one is a big flame, and I quite like the fact it spreads. I don't end up with hot spots. Yeah, I think we might be okay. Yep, we'll be fine. So come back in 20 minutes. Well, it's been the full 20 minutes, and as you can see, they've actually puffed up a little bit, and I think I'm just going to lift them out. The reason I'm not pouring them through a sieve is because I'm going to be using some of that liquid. I need to handle them in order to get their skins off. And the last one. Now I've put them in here so they'll cool a bit so I can actually handle them. Okay, now if you can see what I'm doing, they just pull out. They're very, very soft. And so all the work has been done for you by the fact they have this one's skins. Oh gosh, they're still very hot. I'm going to have to leave them for 5 minutes. It hurts. Right, so I'm just going to lift these out, and you can see they're really soft and the skins have plumped up. Can you see how soft they are? They're melty soft, and that will produce a lovely silkiness to the sauce. Wondering if I can, yeah, I can just squeeze them out, but then I get that little hard bit I don't want. There you are. You can literally squeeze, they are so soft. That's the texture you're looking for. I don't want that little hard bit at the end, but I do want all of this lovely, lovely pulp. It's plumped it up, hasn't it? Oh, oh, gotcha. That one's done. That one's done. And these are the last now. And this is the last. There you are. Nope, I found another one hiding. There. That's it. Now, to this, I'm going to add some salt. I'm not someone who uses a lot of salt, but this is the sort of sauce that needs salt. And you don't be using vast amounts of it. And pepper. Pepper. Now, the other important ingredient is a sharp wine, a sherry wine. I've got the nearest equivalent, but that's because it comes from this area. And you're only adding a spot of it. You're not adding a lot. And the oil. This is extra virgin olive oil. It's a blend, but you can use whichever olive oil you choose. And you want quite a bit of it to turn it into the sort of sauce that is creamy. Now, we also want some of this liquid, a bit of liquid to start with. I may well end up adding more. Now, you could use a pestle and mortar. You could push it through a sieve, but I'm being lazy. Now, let's have a little taste. I'm really happy with that. It's got the texture of a really high-class mayonnaise. And as you can see, it moves like a mayonnaise, it looks like a mayonnaise, but it's healthier than a mayonnaise. It's sweet and it's smooth and it's luxurious. No one wouldn't like that, and I bet they wouldn't know that it was garlic as opposed to flavoured with garlic. It's sweet and it's almost nutty edge. It's wonderful. Now, I'm actually going to save this milk to cook something in. I haven't decided what yet, but I'm not wasting that milk. So I'm really pleased with that. And I was a bit dubious because the garlic is well past its best. That is wonderful. And it's so healthy. That is really good. In fact, I think you could replace the vinegar with lemon if you wanted. But of course, the way this is made, it will keep the whole week in the fridge. But if you start putting lemon juice instead, it goes to half a week. But I don't think it's going to last very long. I shall be giving some of this away because everybody wants something like this occasionally to try. So enjoy.